In the early days of Hollywood, starry-eyed dreams of fame and fortune were overshadowed by harsh realities for many aspiring starlets. The allure of wealth and glamour was a double-edged sword, leading some down paths of debauchery and tragedy. These young women, drawn to Tinseltown seeking stardom, often found themselves toiling in obscurity, with success remaining elusive. Even those who managed to rise faced adversity and compromise in a male-dominated industry that demanded conformity at every turn. The pressures of maintaining an image led to tragic fates for many of Hollywood's golden girls, whose lives took heartbreaking turns amidst the glitz and glamour of the era. Alcoholism, erratic behavior, and shattered dreams were all too common in a world where the price of fame was often too high to bear. Tragic stories abound of those who sacrificed everything for a chance at stardom, only to find themselves in the shadows of old Hollywood. Barbara Payton's rise to fame was a classic Hollywood tale, filled with glamour and scandal. After catching the eye of Universal Pictures in 1948, she dove headfirst into the glitzy world of nightclubs, high-profile affairs, and reckless decisions. Despite being fired from Universal due to her involvement with the married Bob Hope, Barbara's career continued at Warner Brothers, where she starred in 14 films. However, behind the dazzling facade, Barbara's life spiraled out of control. Multiple marriages, struggles with alcoholism, bouncing checks, and even being found half-dressed on Sunset Boulevard painted a tragic picture. Her downward spiral was vividly captured by bartender-turned-writer Robert Polito, who chronicled her tragic story in a haunting autobiography. Sadly, just a few years later, Barbara Payton's tumultuous journey met a heartbreaking end as she was found dead at her parents' home in San Diego. Her story serves as a cautionary tale of the dark side of fame and fortune in old Hollywood. Baby Peggy, born Peggy Jean Montgomery in 1918, was a child star whose career was overshadowed by family greed and tragedy. By the age of 2, she was already a sensation in Hollywood, starring in numerous short films and a few feature films. Her talent and charm earned her the nickname Hollywood's million-dollar baby due to lucrative contracts negotiated by her father. Despite her success, Peggy lacked a normal childhood, isolated from other children by the demands of show business. Tragedy struck when a salary dispute led to the cancellation of her contract, and her earnings were stolen by her grandfather, leaving her penniless. Attempting to revive her career, Peggy transitioned to vaudeville but struggled as the Great Depression hit, leading to financial ruin for her family. Undeterred, she found solace in writing and became an author before her passing in February 2020. From the blonde bombshell to the frail actress, Jean Harlow's life was a whirlwind of glamour and tragedy. Before Marilyn Monroe, Harlow captivated audiences with her beauty and talent. Encouraged by her mother, she embraced stardom under the moniker Jean Harlow, a name synonymous with allure. Despite early lukewarm interest, her passion for acting ignited in 1928, leading to a successful career with 43 films. However, scandals marred her legacy, from a mysterious husband's death to tumultuous relationships. Health struggles, including childhood illnesses and a fatal kidney failure at 26, haunted her final days. Harlow's story remains a bittersweet chapter in old Hollywood's tragic tales. Born as Margarita Carmen Cancino in Brooklyn, Rita Hayworth would rise to become one of Hollywood's most iconic sex symbols. However, her life was marked by a haunting past that revealed a dual personality hidden beneath her glamorous facade. As a child, Rita faced a painful upbringing. Her father, a vaudeville star, subjected her to verbal abuse, physical beatings, and even sexual abuse. These dark secrets left scars deep within her psyche, which she concealed behind her dazzling smile. Remarkably talented, Rita was an accomplished dancer by the age of 12, setting the stage for a career that changed Hollywood forever. She became the first actress to share the screen with legendary dancers Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly, becoming a pioneer in the film industry. In the 1940s, she emerged as one of the first pinup girls, embodying desire for a new generation. Rita's tumultuous personal life included 5 marriages and numerous affairs, driven by her search for love. One of the most astonishing chapters of her life was her marriage to a prince, making her the first American actress to join royalty. Later, she became the first celebrity to raise awareness about Alzheimer's disease, a tragic fate that began in 1971 and led to her diagnosis in 1980. Behind the scenes, the Rita the world admired was a complex persona shaped by her father and critical portrayals from her husbands. In her twilight years, those who met her, like actress Shelley Winters, witnessed a vulnerable woman hidden beneath layers of coats, a poignant reminder of her duality. Rita's battle with Alzheimer's ultimately claimed her life in 1987, casting a shadow over the legacy of a remarkable but troubled star. Marion Davies, the mistress of a media mogul, was a legendary silent film star whose talent was overshadowed by scandal. Despite grappling with a debilitating stutter, she rose to stardom. In 1917, at 21, she met newspaper tycoon William Randolph Hearst, sparking a love story that became Hollywood's worst-kept secret. Their partnership led to the founding of Cosmopolitan Productions. However, her career was often dismissed as Hearst's influence. Orson Welles' Citizen Kane drew parallels to Davies, exposing her to public ridicule. She made a significant sacrifice by selling her jewelry to help Hearst's failing corporation. Despite Hearst's efforts, she never received an Oscar nomination after 1941. Davies turned to drinking as her career declined. When Hearst died in 1951, his family erased all traces of him with Davies. Battling illness, she succumbed to cancer in 1961. Despite persistent rumors, the story of Frances Farmer undergoing a lobotomy is a myth. In 1943, Farmer, then a troubled figure, was arrested at the Knickerbocker Hotel due to unpaid DUI fines. During this incident, she was found in a state of distress, disrobed, and in the midst of a manic episode. Her behavior led to her commitment to Washington's Western State Hospital in 1944 by her mother. Farmer's time there was intermittent until 1950, and a 1958 episode of This Is Your Life, Farmer discussed her struggles and clarified that her issues stemmed from a nervous breakdown, not a lobotomy. Despite continuing battles with alcoholism, she chose a life of relative obscurity. The false narrative of a lobotomy was introduced by writer William Arnold in his 1970 biography, but was discredited by 1983. Farmer's legacy was further explored in Nirvana's 1993 song Frances Farmer Will Have Her Revenge on Seattle. Lupe Velez, a desire to be remembered. Lupe Velez lived a tumultuous life filled with violence, mischief, and passion. Born in 1908, her early years were marked by a reputation as a Mexican Spitfire due to her mischievous nature, landing her in a convent as a child. Her adult life was no less chaotic, with accounts of violence including stabbing and firing a gun at her former lover, Gary Cooper. Velez described herself as wild, unable to control her impulses. Despite adding 45 film credits to her name, she tragically ended her own life in 1944, reportedly due to a drug overdose. A lurid account by writer Kenneth Anker suggests a different, more graphic version of her demise, painting a tragic picture of her final moments with her head in a toilet. Lupe Velez's life story is one of ambition, turmoil, and ultimately, a tragic end. Elizabeth Short, known as the Black Dahlia, had a unique affinity for the color black. From her dark hair to the elegant dresses she favored, she often adorned her hair with dahlias, earning her the moniker that would come to define her. Her early life was shadowed by her father's departure when she was just 5 years old, leaving behind a large family. Growing up in challenging circumstances and grappling with health issues like asthma, Short's penchant for black attire became a symbol of her autonomy in a world that had dealt her an unfair hand. Her dream of making it in the movie industry drew her to California, but her transient lifestyle led her into a downward spiral marked by failed relationships and odd jobs. Her tragic fate was sealed on January 15, 1947, when her body was discovered brutally mutilated in Los Angeles. Her murder remains one of the most infamous unsolved cases in Hollywood history, sparking numerous theories and investigations. Despite the passage of time, Elizabeth Short's legacy lives on as a cautionary tale of the dark underbelly of Hollywood's golden age.